Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Lights Camera Rant. And we're going to be talking about Aquaman 2. We're going to be talking about Call of Duty, Secret Invasion, The Harvest, Oppenheimer, and I've got two very special guests that will be joining me for this episode. It is the Unqualified Heroes, the
Unqualified heroes!
What's up, man?
boys. How are we going, gentlemen?
It is going great. I am so pumped. I love guest episodes. Oh my gosh. Especially when we're the guests and we don't have to deal with recording and editing afterwards.
Man.
Nothing to do. Nah, all taken care of.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm going great. I'm still trying to reel in about Oppenheimer. Like, that was 3 hours of just pure intensity. And I can't believe it feels like we've been talking about this movie for so long and it's finally here. But holy shit.
Holy shit, indeed.
Yep.
Uh,
I didn't know what to say. Like after the movie finished, I was just like, so that just happened. Like I didn't know what to do.
yeah. And it's which we'll get into, but it's left so ambiguous at the ending. You're just like, oh, I gotta rethink everything right now. Like shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll get into Oppenheimer. But first, you guys always knows what comes up next.
Welcome to the Light, Camera, Rant Podcast. Your source for the latest on movies, TV shows, and video games. Get ready for ranting, raving, and reviewing. Here is your host, Lee.
So
I love it.
thanks,
I love it. Every time I love it.
thanks, man. What have we as I was talking about you guys before this episode started, you guys jumped on for the Guardians of the Galaxy review early this year. What have you guys been up to? Like, as I said, you guys are up to 107 subscribers on YouTube. You're up to episode 18, 315 Instagram followers, and I also need to invest into your merch store.
Yeah.
Unqualified heroes, baby.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, I can't speak for Messi, but me, I've just been watching movies like crazy, both new in the theater because as we all know, there's been a bunch of releases since Guardians, especially this summer, and both old releases. For a fun fact, I just watched Mean Girls for the very first time in my life about 2 weeks ago. Not 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, and now I understand the hype. I see where all the Wednesdays we were peak, so that's where that's from. It all makes sense now.
You've never seen that movie.
I've only seen the clip of them doing like the Jingle Bell Rock thing because I guess that's like the most famous clip. But I've never seen the full-on movie, so that's the first time I saw it, and I was like, wow. So I've been watching a lot of old movies as well that I haven't seen before.
What other movies have you been watching?
Oh my gosh. I mean, me and my wife are big movie people. That's like our thing. Oh man, there's been so many. I saw the new Puss in Boots that came on Netflix just now. That's a phenomenal film.
Fuck. I had a mate who swear to me, he's like, just go watch it. Just watch it. I'm like, doesn't matter if you haven't seen anything else. He's like, just watch this.
That's one of the best animated films I've like Pixar, DreamWorks, that universe, one of the best films I've ever seen.
How terrifying is death?
But the whistle was freaky. I was like, oh my gosh.
And the eyes.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal film. I actually watched that twice since we last talked. It was just that good. Yeah, I've been seeing movies left and right. I also started New Girl on Hulu because I try to have at least one show that I'm watching. So Messi recommended it to me. I like comedy sitcoms, The Office, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, all that stuff. So I got into New Girl and it's pretty interesting, pretty fun.
Every time I see New Girl, like I haven't gone back and watched it for a very long time, but I'm always like, that's right, she's Bones' sister.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can. It's funny watching New Girl now after seeing like Into the Spider-Verse and all that stuff, because now when I see Nick and I hear his voice, I'm like, oh, that's Spider-Man. So now whenever I watch the Spider-Man movie, I'm like, that's Nick. But I can never like associate that to another person before. Now I can. It's kind of funny.
What have you been watching, Messi?
I've been watching all the movies I've been coming out, except for Transformers. I didn't get to see that one, and the Fast and Furious movie either. I'm just not a big fan of those type of movies. But I watched Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds recently. Let me tell you why. I know movie sucks, and I'm not gonna fight it. But I watched it as a kid and then never watched it again because I didn't like it. I don't want to rewatch it again. Maybe, like when you're a kid, your opinion changed when you're an adult. So I wanted to see if it changed my. It didn't.
It was still sucky.
It was so bad.
This is still shit.
It was still.
But, all right, here's a serious question, because now we know that The Flash has earned less money in the box office than Green Lantern. So
that's why I watched it.
Was it worse than The Flash?
No, I don't think it was worse than The Flash. Wait. I think this movie was worse than The Flash.
You think
the
it
Green
was
Lantern
worse
movie?
than The Flash?
Okay.
Yeah.
Agree. At least The Flash has a little bit better CGI than this one. A little bit better. A little bit better. CGI still suck, but a little bit better than Green Lantern.
Yeah. I always forget every time I talk about that film, I always forget that like Taika Waititi's in it. Like a young Taika Waititi.
I forgot about that too, so you just brought it up.
He got me off guard. It's like, you're in this movie too? Like, I completely forgot.
But yeah, that first Green Lantern, and that was meant to kick off the first DCEU.
Well, DC doesn't have a good track record, so
they don't.
With the exception of the animated shows. Animated shows have been a top tier. I actually started that at some point. I got through like season 1 of Justice League, the first Justice League, and it's pretty good. But then I started watching New Girl, so then it's hard to watch multiple shows at once for me because I watch so many movies. So I just stuck with New Girl because it's so funny. But Justice League is a good show. I watched that as a kid a lot.
Yeah. Are you talking about like the early 2000s that
made
into Justice League? Yeah. I went back and watched that a couple of years ago. Like, wow, some of the things they're talking about, I didn't notice as a kid. Like just really adult themes. I was like, holy shit. But everything back then that we watched as a kid had some serious adult stuff. And you go like on Instagram or something, it's like, we didn't know this before. And it was like, oh my gosh, like they were pushing some limits back then, but we had no clue. Nah, can't. And some of that you can't do that now. Cancel culture.
Oh yeah. That's not getting by. What did I just see recently? I was like, there's no way this Mean Girls. That's what it was. Mean Girls. No way Mean Girls comes out in 2023. I was like, bro, this is not flying in this today's world. It's pretty.
No way. And I was just talking to my partner about that the other day. We were watching, I think, Rush Hour 1. And I was like,
oh yeah.
Nothing in that movie will pass.
Yeah, like, whoa. As soon as Chris Tucker starts talking, that'd be speed. Just
good
be
movie,
out.
though. Good movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
very fun.
Four's still meant to be coming, apparently.
Oh yeah. I wonder how it's gonna happen. All Jackie Chan, all Chris Tucker.
It's gonna be interesting. We got
yeah.
that Expendables as well. Like, there's a lot of.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Messi have been talking at this at length for multiple episodes that the movie industry is just all about nostalgia now. So everything's going with the nostalgia, with the sequels, with the remakes. So that's with the cameos of previous people. So I mean, we're just gonna continue with that trend until something new happens.
That's exactly right, and if these movies do get made, if things do get the ball rolling again,
that's true.
Because it's actually interesting is that the last time you guys were on here, we were talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, but the writer's strike had just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
And-
god.
Now we got the actor strike.
Yep. And that's just because I just feel bad for everybody. Everyone should get paid what they should get paid and get the ball rolling. But this time next year, quality of content is just going to be.
There's not
I
going to be
mean,
a lot of content. There's going to be a lot of delays.
It's been going down since Phase 4 started. So like we got WandaVision. WandaVision was good with CGI, acting, writing was good. After that, going down. There's nothing as good as WandaVision since it started. And Bob, well, exceptions for James Gunn, Guardians of the Galaxy, and then also into the Across the Spider-Verse and.
But there has been a drop in content, and that's primarily why there has been this writers strike, because they're just like overworked and they don't have the deadlines are like really unrealistic. I mean, I know for me, I'm like, dude, I get tired in an 8-hour day. These people are doing like 12, 14-hour days. They're just 7 days a week. I'm like, heck no.
Yeah.
Too much.
And like it's just streaming has done great things as a consumer. It's done great things, but for eventually something like this was going to happen.
Oh yeah, not for them at all, and the writers too, or not the writers, the actors too, because then people can get very mischievous on giving actors certain money based off the income that they get on streaming services, because the residuals of how much they like the viewership and stuff like that. So they can get very tricky with that. I know that was a big thing for what was it, Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, that she wasn't. There was like this whole lawsuit or whatever because she wasn't getting paid right based off Black Widow on streaming service. So I mean, for us it's fine, but like eventually for us it won't be fine, because then we're just not gonna get stuff.
Good cut. Yeah, that's right. Black Widow is just like I'm glad she did the lawsuit. I'm glad she got her pay. That was just almost just circumstances. Like there was, I almost feel a bit for Disney, because it's like there was nothing in the rule book that you're about to drop a movie during a pandemic. Like it's gonna bomb, not because of the quality of content, not because of the marketing, not because of anything, because the global's in everything's in a global pandemic.
Yeah.
There was nothing you could do.
No. But let's get on to some pop culture news. Are you guys any big Call of Duty fans?
We play Call of Duty a lot. I will admit, I have played more recently. What's the game called again?
Fortnite?
No, the other Call of Duty game that we
playing. Cold War?
Cold War. I have been playing more Cold War than Modern Warfare 2, just because there's zombies. I love the zombies games. 2 is there's this like gunfight tournament game mode that's on Cold War, and I'm just like such a competitive person that regular games where it's just like win lose, it doesn't do it for me. I need like a tournament style where I'm like, okay, if I win, I go to the next branch or something, or like ranked games. I know Call of Duty has ranked, but I'm not good enough for that. But there's like other games that are not Call of Duty that have ranked, and it's like that kind of fuels my competitiveness. But just regular games like that, it's hard. It's harder for me to enjoy long term.
You want something a bit more challenging.
Yeah, I need the challenge.
Well, just in this past week, they announced that Call of Duty will be staying on PlayStation moving forward in its early releases. Its new releases. And Call of Duty's had a massive increase on Xbox Live, because they've put all the old games on backwards compatibility and they booted up the old servers. There's a shit ton of people playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 right now.
Wow. I did not know that. They booted up all those servers? That's years ago.
Yeah.
I think I might switch. I might switch. I might jump overboard over there.
You can't go to the dark side. But no, wow. I wonder if they would do that for PlayStation.
No,
Nah.
Activision was bought by
That's true.
Xbox.
You're right.
They're
They're
not.
doing
They're
Yeah,
lucky. We're lucky enough to get new games. They were to the point that we're gonna take a Call of Duty away from us to make it an exclusive for Xbox. They were to that point, so close. But
If they make Call of Duty exclusive for Xbox, there would be a lot of PlayStation users going over to Xbox, or just getting an Xbox and having a PlayStation.
Well, that's that thing. And I as soon as I read it, I was like, how much money did PlayStation throw? How much money did Sony throw at this to keep PlayStation, keep it on PlayStation?
They gave them a good chunk of change.
Oh, it'd be truckloads at Microsoft's door for it.
I won't be surprised if they spent over at least $1 billion or more.
Oh yeah,
on it. Because Call of Duty is one of the biggest gaming franchises ever.
All time. Yeah,
ever.
All time. And now the boys.
Well, the boys just joined and people are buying it crazy. If Call of Duty goes straight to just Xbox, like Danny said, people may jump overboard and go over there. Because Call of Duty is one of the most viewed streaming games on either Twitch or whatever streaming service you use. Call of Duty is one of the biggest ones you ever see there. So that's what brings money in. So streamers may just stay on Xbox or even on Steam. On
Call of Duty is like the Apple of video games. Like, it could come out every single year, and you're going to buy it regardless. You know it's the same thing as the last one, but you're still going to buy it because it's just new. And so it's like the Apple video games. So it's like, I don't even know how to phrase it. If like Apple was only on one phone carrier, everyone would go to that phone carrier.
Yeah. That's exactly right. And that's the thing. It's so popular, and there was no way PlayStation or Sony was going to let this just be exclusive. So, yeah, and right now everyone's going back and playing the old ones. So that's more proof to you.
Yeah,
but it could also mean that the old ones that the good ones are not doing so hot.
Well, that too, because Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was such a good game. It was the one place where, for some reason, I found out exactly where my mother's been. Now, where a lot of people's mothers have been, and getting absolutely killed by someone half my age.
Oh, yep, that's exactly right. Modern Warfare 2 is like peak childhood for all of us.
Yeah,
there was
can.
No better time to be alive.
Nah. But yeah, Call of Duty. Don't worry, guys. It's still gonna be on there. It's still be fine. Yeah. Don't stress. Now this we were talking about a little striking. This is gonna be sad because Deadpool 3, Venom 3, Mission Impossible 2, Gladiator 2, Mortal Kombat, and Beetlejuice and Andor all stopped.
Yep.
Sucks.
We just got footage of Deadpool 3.
I know, and just a week before that they announced it's coming out a couple of months earlier. I'm like, oh well, that's useless now, isn't it?
Yeah. And there was a movie, I can't quite remember the film, but it was like 10 days away from completing filming. But then the strike happened, so then it's just on pause. You can't do anything. But it was 10 days away from completing filming. I was like, well, that's tragic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good and bad in the same way. It's good that they're stopping it because obviously we want to support what's going on with the writers and actors. And it's bad because we as fans, we won't get content. We won't get anything new at all. Everything has stopped. Every movie, TV show, everything. But it's also good because maybe Marvel would rethink their CGI stuff and writing stuff, and maybe they'll give us good content whenever all this is settled and everybody's happy. But I hope, because last time we were here, we thought by this time it will be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's not. It got worse. So hopefully the next time we're here on your podcast again, it's not as worse or it gets solved. But
We have better news. No
Yeah,
one's striking.
hopefully.
There needs that's really the main goal for us as consumers and them. If the majority of people, you can't make everyone happy, but if the majority of people are happy, then it's good because we're getting good content. They're doing what they love and actually enjoy it. Because we all know if you love something, but you're just like you're doing it too much, you eventually hate it. I know multiple people who played instruments and they would like travel the world or travel the country and do stuff like that. But they would have to train, even for sports players and stuff like that. There's like you do it too much and you just hate it eventually. And so hopefully that doesn't happen to the writers, and that's part of the reason for the strike because they're leaving their jobs because they're like I'd rather do something else than do this.
And they can't afford it. And how much they're getting paid, they can't afford it with inflation and everything. They're not getting paid what they deserve. And they're like, well, I can't do what I love because I got to support myself and live, so I'm going to leave.
Yeah,
so it's going to cause a shortage.
Someone that worked on She-Hulk, I don't know who it was or what they worked on specifically, but they said they only got like $300. Like $300.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's nothing. That's not rent or anything.
Nah.
That's just gas money. That's it. Barely.
Well, the last 3 days done, if that. And it's just I just can't believe it's got this far. And then Bob Iger's comments last week. I'm like, shut up.
It made it even worse.
I'm sure your PR person just quit.
It was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm out.
Nah, I'm done. You've just alienated the entire people that are striking right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the biggest target on his back for good reason. I mean, one, Disney owns like half of these companies, so Disney's Disney.
Yeah.
And you eventually you get too big. That's what happens when you get too big.
That's right. And what his comments were, I think some of the comments were that what the writers are asking unrealistic expectations. I'm like, oh my God.
Your expectations are unrealistic.
Yeah,
exactly
what
right.
are you talking about?
Like what you
My
need
bad.
to
I'm
do
sorry. I can't work 7 days a week
for a penny.
For a penny?
Yeah. Or what was it? How many people had left, or how many people left Spider-Verse? Apparently, there was a few animators that had left because
Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
The Flash. There was someone who
everybody left the Flash.
There was a lot of people who left the Flash, but there was someone specifically who like had this whole live on Instagram, and he was like, if it looks like it was made in a week or a month or something like that, it probably was. And he originally was working on it and then quit because of the deadlines and stuff like that. But the fact that that can't happen. That can't happen. Look, I love content, but I don't love crappy content. I'd rather wait for good content than give me crappy content. But the thing is, we're still going to watch it. We're still going to watch it, which is why they still do it. They
don't care.
They don't care.
Honestly,
they know we're still going to watch it.
Yeah. They know we'll review it.
And when they proposed the AI to recreate actors, I don't know if you guys saw that, but that made it even worse as well. Like you as an actor, you're nothing. You're nobody. We can literally take your image and repurpose it forever, and we pay you for 1 day, and you're done. Your whole time that you spent either studying for acting, you went to acting schools, for either film schools, or whatever you did to get to the point that you are, nothing.
That's one of the hardest jobs to like actually make it up in the world. Is
because it's so competitive.
Be actually in that industry, like as a big name actors and stuff like that. That's one of the hardest things to do in the entire world. So I mean, that sucks. I wouldn't know. I want to know how it would actually work out. Like, I feel like it would look really like bad because then
It
you don't
looks
have
super CGI.
you don't have
Yeah.
the actual personality of that person that could. A lot of people, Ryan Reynolds, Robert Downey Jr. They don't go completely on script. Sometimes they'll add their own stuff. Sitcoms, they'll do a bunch of their own stuff. Like, you're just not having freedom of personality anymore if you do that AI thing. That's going to be really weird.
I
You
think.
can't- Oh,
I think the way that if they do it, I think they will do how they do with video games. They will just recreate it, AI it, and then just pay some low actor that will do anything for a penny, and just voice act it,
yeah.
and just have the face of the actual actor. Let's do Ryan Reynolds for example. He's worth millions of dollars.
Yep.
I come in, they give me $100. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll do his. I'll try to do his voice.
Done. Do you sound like him? Done.
No, yeah. I mean, I don't, but
They'll find someone who can.
That's right. Well, isn't it David? I think David Attenborough sold his voice to Discovery Channel so they could still use his voice after he dies to do documentaries. I'm like,
really?
Yeah. So, how do you feel about that?
I mean, he is the oh my god, what is the word?
Nature discovery narrator.
Yeah, guy. He is the narrator for those. Like every time I see anything with nature, or it's him. It's always him. And I don't know. I don't know how honestly how I felt that. I think didn't Darth Vader's voice Earl Jones
they did the same thing.
did the same
But
thing.
that's like with your permission, you know. That's consented.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's like certain roles here and there, not every role in a movie type of thing. So
no, and I guess the way we could look at the two examples we've just had, they're for voiceover work. They're not for a performance.
Yeah.
But again, before someone attacks me, yes, voice acting is still a performance, but it's not a physical one.
Yeah, exactly.
I was waiting for someone to be like, it's still a performance.
It's still a performance.
But yeah, I guess compared to an actual actor. So that the Razor AI, Chat GPT, like that's what's caused this even further. But again, I hope
we know that they can do some dangerous stuff with AI. I mean, I don't know if you've seen Mission Impossible yet. I'm pretty sure you have.
Yeah.
I know Messi has. It's
scary.
creepy. It's creepy.
That was so on the nose, and I thought of it too. I'm like, this is awfully eerie.
Yeah,
close.
it's a little too real. We're getting a little too close to what could actually happen.
Yeah, James Cameron was right. Skynet's coming.
Yeah.
Why have you heard the utter mess that is
I don't get
Aquaman 2?
I don't get it.
It is apparently a hot steaming garbage. How do you do this with Jason Momoa?
I don't get it. I don't. They just did what they did with Batgirl. Tax it off. Give it away. Get the money back. Let it go. They've done so many reshoots. They have put apparently 2 different Batmans. Like, I don't get it. We don't even care no more. We don't care about this movie. And they're still working for it. I don't understand why.
Still working for it. They said it was trash. All the audience, the first screening that they had for Aquaman, people walked out of the theater and how bad it was. I still don't know how people get into test screenings. I'm waiting for my invitation. But
Kevin,
I don't know how you do
right
that.
Here. I'll say James Gunn right here.
Yeah, right here. But yeah, it's bad. They're doing multiple takes. People still hate it. No one cares about it. Look, if Flash, with all the paid promotion that they had, Tom Cruise saying this is the best superhero movie ever, like the Batman's in here, Supergirl's in here. We think multiple cameos could possibly be in here, even though they weren't. Possibly Henry Cavill. Like, if all that hype and Flash still was the most bombed movie in the history of DC, what is Aquaman? It will not make you. It will not make you a penny. You have to make this a tax write-off. It will not make you a single penny. It's going to be trash.
Well, totally fair. The one thing Aquaman does have over the Flash is their main character isn't wanted in Hawaii and also a cult leader.
But Mara, is it Mara?
It's true.
The girl, Amber Heard is in the movie, so it's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's
true,
the same thing because at least as of right now, she's still in parts of the movie at least.
Yes, which I've heard different reports about that. I've heard one where she's been cut down, one where her role was already short because apparently she's pregnant in the movie. But yeah, I just couldn't believe like multiple reshoots. And what I don't get is like I understand the situation, but like it's the same team as the first one.
Yeah.
So what's just turned this into trap? Like what's made it so bad?
Yeah, I actually enjoyed the first Aquaman.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Same director.
I was like, this is a pretty good Aquaman movie.
Yeah. It's a good Fishman movie.
Fishman. So I don't know what happened to this, but you can't release this. It can't be released. And we already know that like it's not part of James Gunn's stuff.
No, the Vision. No, because it. Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say just put it on Max.
Yeah,
just put it on Max. Just put it on Max. That's it.
That's right. It's only called Max now.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
Yeah,
so dumb.
Peacock, your move.
We're gonna be watching Cock now.
Yeah, yeah.
That was pretty funny. Yeah, this can't be in the theaters. This is not a theater-worthy movie. When this is releasing in December, right?
That's right.
Well,
supposedly.
If it does.
So you have Wonka in December. I believe Dune 2 is also in December.
Yes.
Or in November, something like that. So you actually
and
got
Rebel
good
Moon.
movies. Rebel Moon, and you're gonna have this. This is a disgrace to cinema, and a disgrace to Jason Momoa. But I can't. Sorry, Jason. You're in the wrong industry. You're in the wrong company because DC don't know what they're doing. At least not yet. Maybe James Gunn, but
we still have to wait for that. We still have to wait because I was thinking the other day. I was like, I was talking about all the Superman legacy casting. I was like, oh, that's all awesome. Like, this is still so far away to get really hyped.
2 more years. You still gotta wait 2 more years.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we got casting for Superman Legacy that's in 2020. Well, isn't Fantastic Four also 2025?
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for my Fantastic Four casting.
Oh no.
Which that's supposedly on pause too because of the actors' strike.
Apparently, yeah. I think that was the only thing that Marvel has going into Comic-Con was the Fantastic Four casting, which apparently I forgot her name, Vanessa from Mission Impossible.
Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah, she's up for the Invisible Woman.
Right. Because they supposedly Margot Robbie and
Adam Driver
declined it.
Good.
Yeah.
I'd probably decline it too if I was
good.
But
Aquaman 2 fans, it is not looking good. This movie's been in struggle because the studio changes. I said I think originally it was Ben Affleck, and then it changed to Michael Keaton because Michael Keaton was going to be the Batman moving forward, which was originally meant to be the cameo at the end of The Flash. Did you guys know there was 3 different endings shot?
Yep. 3 different endings. I don't remember what all 3 were. I know one was with Keaton and Supergirl, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the other 2, but yeah, 3 different endings. And we got the worst one. I didn't like the ending. I was like, bro, come on. That's not even a good Batman.
No, and I feel bad for George Clooney because he would have looked like, oh yeah, sure, I'll come back. I'll do a cameo. And you've cameoed in the worst superhero movie.
He's not coming back.
No, he's never. No,
he's done. He's done. Yeah.
No, he's burned twice. No way. Did you guys see? Yeah, boy.
I was so hyped. I called Danny. I was on my way to see Oppenheimer when the trailer dropped. I was driving It's like, no, they did not just release a PS5 Spider-Man 2 trailer. It was awesome. It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Venom.
Everything.
Harry, what was the Venom Harry?
Kraven?
Kraven the Hunter.
Lizard.
It's gonna be Lizard. Yeah. It's gonna be so good. Messi called me. He's like, I told you, Harry was gonna be the Venom. He was on.
I was right all along. God damn it.
I told him in the very beginning, Harry's gonna be Venom for a good minute, because I know Spider-Man's gonna be Venom too. And then apparently Eddie Brock is gonna show up. But if he does, I want him to be like at the very end.
Yeah.
And then the next game, it'll be Eddie Brock as Venom. But I don't want, if Venom comes for the third game, I hope it's like for a short minute, because I want Green Goblin. I want Green Goblin to be the last villain. What if he shows up from this one?
Spider-Man has a lot of villains.
He does.
Oh, it's big as Batman's.
Yeah.
Rose Gallery.
I gotta ask you something, because me and Messi go back and forth on this. I absolutely am so enraged that this game is not a co-op game. I don't know about your opinions about this, but this is the perfect opportunity to be a co-op game.
When I saw that, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, I guess they could use both. That'd be really good online. You know, be a co-op or co-op campaign. I think it's a missed opportunity. I think it's a missed opportunity. They should have done it.
It's just, the thing is, everybody's making single player games now
because it's so fun to play by themselves.
They're good, but I like playing with friends. I remember back in the PS3 days.
I don't.
PS3, PS4 was like everything was multiplayer, and it was just so fun because you still could play single player if you wanted to, but you could also play multiplayer. You could play co-op. It was like fun. Now you have very few multiplayer games out there, but they're the repetitive ones like Call of Duty. And it's like, I want good games. They tried to do that with Avengers. Avengers didn't work out. But like good multiplayer co-op games. And I thought this was the perfect thing because Insomniac knows what they're doing with games. And so I was like, if they're going to do co-op, it's going to be good. And they didn't. So
they did it. I'm so happy.
I was pretty blown.
I like my single player games because when I play multiplayer, I play with either with Danny or with another friend Sean. Like it's fun, but I like my me time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like when God of War came out, The Last of Us, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, all these games are single player. I loved it because I was by myself.
But you could still play this as a single player. But if you made a co-op, it would give you the option.
No, I don't want to co-op. I don't want to play with you because then you want to be Miles Morales and I want to be Miles Morales. Like we both want to be the same character, but we can't be the same character.
No, just do the Mortal Kombat where it's just a different skin. It's like bright green or bright orange.
Yeah.
When you use the same character. And like I agree with you, like Danny, like playing Halo co-op, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Call of Duty when they had the campaign co-op, that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I think it's just now studios is like you're gonna play online. You're gonna play online, it doesn't matter. Single player game.
Yeah, all the good games are all single player now, so pretty good.
Yeah.
But you guys, I haven't got a photo of it right now. My apologies. But have you seen the PlayStation? Have you seen the PlayStation?
I am.
Messi told me he was gonna sell his PlayStation and get the new one.
I am getting it. So the good thing about it, you can buy the hard case by itself. If you have a PS5, you don't have to buy the PS5. You can just buy the case because the PS5 cases can be removed. I don't know if you knew that, but the cases can be removed. You can put a new one. Shit. Yeah. So if you have a PS5, you don't have to buy the whole PS5. Or you can, but you have to buy the remote.
But do they sell they sell the hard case?
Yeah. Yeah, it's confirmed. It's confirmed that if you have a PS5, you can buy the case by itself. Because it makes sense. What will you buy another PS5? Because when they drop the new colors in black and red, you can buy the case by himself.
Oh, okay.
Then again, it's limited. It's limited. So do it fast. But
quickly, everyone who's listening.
When does it come out? I don't even know when it comes out.
I think pre-orders are the 28th, I believe.
Yeah.
this month?
Yeah.
October the.
How much is the case?
I don't
October
know.
the 20th.
I'm buying it. I don't care how much it is.
Oh, it was. I was after I saw that photo. I was like, "That's so sleek." Like
I nut
that.
it.
Yeah.
That's a centerpiece that you have in your living room.
Yeah, this is art actually.
This is
yeah.
art
This is actually art.
on the
That'll
wall.
be that'll be a showcase when you have guests in your house. So this is my PS5. Don't touch, only look.
Yeah, except for don't touch it. I'm still playing.
It looks nice. The story was really great because the last time we got a gameplay trailer.
Yeah,
So
like a little drop.
right. So we got to like have some. I like gameplay stuff, but having like the actual story like gives you more insight into it. Everyone glowed up. Miles glowed up. Peter glowed up. MJ glowed up. So it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I can't wait. And as much as I'm like really excited for this, I'm just like, okay, this is really cool. But the next one we're getting is the Wolverine game.
Yep.
That is gonna. Oh, I've heard apparently that's gonna be full on. Like they're going all out with that.
Yeah. Do you think he'll make a cameo on this? Because I think it's in the same universe.
I don't think he's making a cameo.
A cameo. That's it. It's a cameo.
Is Wolverine also Insomniac?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I still don't think they're making a cameo.
A cameo.
We don't even have a trailer for Wolverine.
So
I could see maybe a report or like something in the background that
just like She-Hulk.
Yeah. Man with claws attacks in bar.
Yeah, just like that was perfect.
Yeah.
That's not a cameo.
I mean, just a mention of something.
Easter egg.
He's
it's
coming.
An Easter egg.
It's an Easter egg, exactly. Yeah. He's coming, and it's gonna be good.
Hype it all up.
Yeah.
But the new trailer just looks fan-freaking-tastic. I feel like we had to talk about this. Like, like, how do you guys feel about it?
Okay, I will admit, I did enjoy this trailer a little bit more than the last trailer. I thought the last trailer, I was like,
trash.
This is rough. This is not going to be good. But this trailer actually like seemed fun. I don't have the highest expectations for this movie, but it did seem like it'll be an enjoyable movie to watch.
Yeah.
I didn't resent it as much as watching the first one, but like we obviously we see Nick Fury again. We know he's not going to die in Secret Invasion. Oh my God, he's not. Marvel spoiled it themselves. I blame them. And we got a little bit more story as to like who the villain is. Although seeing this trailer, I really don't see how it's going to connect to Secret Invasion. I didn't even see a scroll. Well, I don't know if I could see a scroll in there because they could blend in, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see.
I agree with you. I didn't see it. Pretty much only the connection between Secret Invasion is Nick Fury and being on the International Space Station. That's it. But this did look a lot more fun. Like when I watched the first one, I was like, this looks crap. Nothing excites me about this. But this looks a little bit more like a fun film. And I feel like this, just watching that trailer, I'm like, this is going to be better than Ant-Man. Like, it's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy, Marvel's, Ant-Man.
So you think it'll be better than Ant-Man?
I think it will be. Not the villain, though. Not the villain. I think
the villain is just such a strong part of the movie.
Yeah, the villain will be a Thor 2 villain. $50.
You're probably right, but I don't know. I take a lot of weight in villains for films, so I always say a good villain makes a good movie.
That's right.
But then again, Ant-Man had a good villain and wasn't that good of a movie, but they had the potential. So I don't know. I don't know if it'll be better than Ant-Man. It depends on the CGI. I'll say that.
Yes. I'm like. And this got pushed back, I'm pretty sure. I think this was meant to come out in July.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out this summer, and it got pushed back to November.
Yeah. Which, with all the movies that have come out, lucky it did.
Yeah, for real.
Like,
it would have been
would've
too
ju-
much.
No way it
Would've
would
been
have
too much.
succeeded in
Nah.
this summer. Not with all the movies. Yeah,
Not
it's
with
a good thing
Barbie-
that it got delayed.
Yeah, not with Barbie Oppenheimer, Up and Barbie.
Barbenheimer.
That's it, Barbieheimer. Yeah. Go watch go watch Oppenheimer, and then go watch Barbie. Then we all go party. But yeah, the new trailer looks a lot better. Not fully hyped. It is coming in November, and I'm interesting to see the other bracelet. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
Kamala Khan. I was like, okay. I was thinking that was more connected to Kang.
I thought so. I
Right.
thought so too.
That's where all the theories were coming in with Ant-Man and all that stuff. But hey, do you think Kang will show up in this? I think he will. A variant of Kang.
I hope so. Like, I hope
Well-
everything works out for Jonathan
That's
Majors.
also what I was gonna say. I was like, I don't know anymore. But by then, his court date's in August.
Yeah, it's coming up.
So if they were to do like a cameo post-credit scene of Kang and stuff like that, or cut it out, either cut it out or put it in, they could do that pretty last minute. So
Yeah.
with the court date being in August and the release being in November. Also, we know a bunch of Marvel shows and films, they take things up to the very last second. They're like
Oh, yeah.
like days before, they're like, we just finished.
The
We just finished editing.
the final hour. And well, we're going to get Jonathan Majors in Loki season 2 because I haven't seen anything that they've altered that at all. Like, that's still going ahead. It's still planned. Funny how we don't have a poster for it yet, though.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons why.
I really think they're waiting for that court date. and
Yeah, I think
seeing
they're
what
waiting.
happens.
If, God forbid, he comes out as guilty, I think the whole show is gonna be postponed until reshoots are done. I think they're gonna do the same thing as Aquaman, gonna replace him with someone else, and then do other reshoots. God forbid.
When does Loki
But,
season 2 come out?
I don't know, keep pushing it back.
September.
I just saw it. October 6th is supposed to be the first day.
Yeah. That's when it's meant to be. We haven't got
August.
a trailer. We haven't got a
September, October. They got 2 months.
poster.
Yeah.
They can
We'll
reshoot
see.
it all.
Yeah, they can reshoot the whole show.
Yeah.
No, but it also depends on the strike. I mean, if they have to do reshoots,
yeah.
how are you going to do reshoots? So you got a strike going on. I don't
That's
know.
right. And it's terrible because I hope it all works out for him. I hope the truth comes out in the court case. But I'm like, yeah, I had so much hope after Quantum Mania. They're like, he's the villain for Avengers. He's gonna F everything up. That was
Yep.
great. And domestic violence court case.
He became a villain in real life.
Yeah. You either
I mean,
die a hero
yeah.
or you become a villain.
Live long enough to be a villain. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, this it's crazy because we were, all these talks about the downfall of Marvel and stuff like that. We get Kang, we're like, bro, Kang is Kang. Like, Kang is Kang. This is a real deal villain. This Marvel could be onto something, and then all this happens. So I
He was a
wonder.
real deal villain, all right.
I wonder who they'll turn to. Maybe Doctor Doom, because even that was still rumored. What with Kang? So I don't know, but
I'm sure. Look, the thing is, I always keep saying in defense, Kevin Feige is a fanboy just like us. So I have no doubt he has a backup plan. They have a
or a
contingency
recast
plan.
of a person.
Yeah. Well, they've done it before. I know there was a big
Yeah.
lobby for everyone. I can't pronounce his name, but high revolutionary actor to play Kang.
Yes. I can't
Oh.
say his name either.
I didn't
Well,
hear
it's-
about that one, but I did hear about Finn from Star Wars.
Ooh, he cannot play
Ooh.
Kang. He cannot play Kang.
Yeah, he does kind of have. Bless.
Thanks.
He kind of has some familiar features to.
Yeah, but I'm saying in terms
Jonathan.
of like, I don't know. You gotta see someone in a role of like
Yeah.
something similar to see if he has that fierceness in him.
Yeah. I guess with Jonathan Majors because he's a very tall dude. He's like jacked.
Jacked. He's jacked on jacked.
Yeah. So it's like you have the imposing presence. Like you want someone who's going to be able to, almost tower over Thor or look Thor in the eye as an actual threat. Because obviously Thanos was taller than everybody.
Yeah.
But it's remained to be seen. As this recording goes, there is still no word on Jonathan Majors. I think the last thing I read was that apparently some information came up that it was false, that his partner is
Right.
It's not true.
His partner was, I think his partner was arrested or something, or something like that. But then there was a report like after that saying that he also did something else. And I was like, okay, did he do something? Did he not do something? I don't know.
Just do the court case.
Yeah, we're taking too long for this court case. Come on, speed it up.
Come on, I want to watch Loki.
For real.
So with that, which I think is a perfect segue, straight in to Secret Invasion, The Harvest. What did you guys think of this episode? It's episode 5. There's one more to go. And to me, the series has... This is the argument I'm having. Every series that Marvel's had for the first to kick off the rank of the year has been an absolute winner. Between WandaVision, Moon Knight, and this, they seem to start their shows off with a bang. And then it goes. And
then it starts crashing and burning. But I will say that Secret Invasion, I'm going to say a couple things about Secret Invasion. One is this episode 5 was not as good as I thought it would be, given the fact that we've had amazing episode 5s on every Disney Plus show that we've had. It's basically the best episode of a 6-episode series. And so going into this, I'm like, this is going to be the best episode of the series. Personally, I think I still like 2 the best. I really enjoyed episode 2, but it was still a good episode. It just wasn't the best out of all of them, in my opinion. And second thing is, as we watch these episodes more and more, and we're about to get to the finale, the more I really come to the conclusion that this show should have been a movie.
Oh, yeah.
It would have worked much better as a movie. Either that or releasing all at once, which Marvel doesn't really like to do. At least they haven't done it yet. They might do it with Echo, but I don't think that's because they have high hopes for Echo. So then it should have been a movie, but it wasn't. It's just there's certain things that work as like a week-to-week basis. WandaVision, phenomenal thing as a week-to-week basis. There's like certain shows that work like that, but this is much better as a movie.
Would have been, yeah. Imagine this coming out right before Mission Impossible. Like it would have just been, you got 2 spy thrillers at the same time.
2 spy thrillers. That would have been phenomenal.
What do you think, Messi?
This show was 100% what I was expecting. Spies, action, secrets. You don't know who's who. Even before the show came out, we talked about it and the show has been 100% what we wanted. I didn't expect I will be hooked every single episode. I haven't think any episode has been bad. Yes, these episodes are better than others, but all 5 episodes I've been hooked. And previous shows, some episodes are like I could have lived without seeing this.
Yep.
But in this show, it did something different. Yeah. It did something different, and I don't know if I'm learning to appreciate what they're giving us instead of hating and stuff. But this show is so far is good, and I cannot wait how they're gonna play it off with the Harvest next episode. I mean, we saw like a glimpse of a Super Skrull being strong as like the Hulk and Nick Fury bang on something. I thought that was gonna be this episode because they dropped like that teaser thing last week before the 5th episode came out. So I don't know how it's gonna end, but it's gonna go down.
No,
it's gonna go down.
100%. There's a lot they're going to cover for this episode, and obviously lead into the Marvels. But do you like? I think Gravik has been such a good villain for this series,
right?
And I was saying that it's terrible because it's one of those situations with Infinity War. It's like you understand why they're pissed. You understand why they're angry. You understand why they're annoyed at everybody. So it's not like we want to take over the world because evil plans and money. Like they want to take it over because they want their home, or they want a home because they've been lied to for so long.
Yeah.
I got another two things to say. Things just keep on popping up in my head, and I'm like, oh my gosh. About the home thing, I saw an Instagram post today, not my own, so can't take credit for it. But it was like, what happened to that planet that Thanos was on in the beginning of Endgame? Why didn't they just move the scrolls over there? And I was like, right? And it was like a picture of the Secret Invasion writers sweating or something like that. It was pretty funny. So that, I don't know. There's so many. Carol Danvers she's basically the Avengers of the space. So she's going to all these different planets. I'm sure she could have found a planet that was habitable, that didn't have people in it. Whatever.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, really? Like, I understand about the blip. I understand we have a bit scattered, but I'm like, really? No one's found you a planet at all?
Lazy writing.
Even though Guardians of the Galaxy kind of proves that there's multiple planets out there with living
They
life.
made a planet out of a freaking head of an eternal.
Celestial.
I forgot what it's called. Celestial. And you can't make a planet with this? Come on.
Nah.
So that I never really thought about it until I saw that post. But it makes a lot of sense. Second thing I was going to say was this. Well, before we heard that this was leading into the Marvels, we heard that this was leading into Armor Wars.
That's right.
Who needs Armor Wars? Rhodey. Well, guess what? Rhodey's a freaking Skrull now. So is Rhodey even alive? Like, what is Armor Wars now, knowing that there's a Rhodey Skrull out in the world?
Well, that's right. I was as soon as we got revealed that Rhodey was a Skrull, I was like, I'm like, holy shit! Oh, hang on, Armor Wars. What is going to go with that?
What is Armor Wars? Armor Wars now. So that's going to be really interesting.
Question.
Shoot.
Do you think Rhodey is being kidnapped or held up somewhere else, and there's a scroll of him, or Rhodey has been a Skrull this whole time? Because they've been different. I don't know if you've seen personality. This version of Secret is a very different Rhodey than we have seen on previous movies.
I don't think he's been the whole time, because Kevin Feige said now you have to look back at all the movies and see which one was the real Rhodey. Or so I don't know if it was like at a certain period in the MCU timeline that everything after was Rhodey, or if there was like Rhodey Skrull timeline type of thing. I don't know. I think since Civil War,
you think
something
that's really far
came in sus after Civil War, because he was injured and all that stuff. And so I don't know. Maybe he died. Maybe he didn't die. But I think it had to be at some point around the Civil War time period.
I would say after Civil War, because I can't really imagine the Skrull pretending to be crippled for a good amount of time because they've just been shot by an android. So I'd say, sometime after Civil War. I did see someone's horrible comment that was like, oh, of course he's a Skrull because he's walking properly. I'm like,
oh, no.
He's been walking properly. He walked fine in Endgame, you idiots. He had the things. They're like on his legs, like Batman did, so he could walk properly.
Yeah.
But and I love the fact that now it's made everyone just go, oh, how long has he been a Skrull? How long has he, did he know Tony was going to die? Did he help push Tony to, make that final call? Yeah. So, and that's interesting is I did also see a post that was, the Thunderbolts get assembled because everything leaks out about the Skrulls. And it's like emergency response team. Because technically there is no Avengers right now.
Right.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Like this is the government going,
I always associate the Thunderbolts with the Vibranium and Black Panther stuff.
Yeah.
No, it could definitely be correlated with that. There's a lot of different paths Kevin Feige could take with with all
With
this
this,
stuff.
Yeah.
I do one more question. Gravik. This is a theory that I've seen a lot going on. Gravik. Obviously, he's a Skrull, but he has to got his body from somewhere. Do you think the actor of Gravik will also play another big actor or big character on the cinematic universe, Marvel, as Doctor Doom? Because again, the Super Skrulls is a Fantastic Four storyline. They steal all their powers and they become the Super Skrull with all the. What if the person that he stole his body is Doctor Doom, and Doctor Doom is somewhere else? I don't know, either dead or
that's very true. That could be. Yeah, that's very plausible because I kind of hope Gravik doesn't bite the dust.
He's a good actor, a good villain.
He's been a great villain. I'm like, I would love to see you get like all your full powers and be the villain for Fantastic Four. And we don't have Doctor Doom yet.
That would be an interesting move. That'd be a very like smart 4D chess move.
That's right. Well, look at the first powers that will get stolen. All the extremists, all the group were all correlated with the Fantastic Four powers.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's another thing we got to look into. But no, Gravik has been such a good villain, and I heard another theory that it's Fury's son. Like, why does he have such a big? Why has he got such a big
hatred,
relationship and hatred?
Yeah,
that would be interesting. I mean, we just found out Fury was married, so
yeah.
To a Skrull.
Exactly.
So we'll see. It's really interesting. We found out Emilia Clarke, Gaia was still alive. So
yeah,
she took some stuff. Yeah, I was like, bro, they can't kill off this soon. Not 3 episodes into her first appearance. So I wonder if some of the Harvest DNA is going to leak out.
I think it will.
At the end of this episode.
I think it will.
You think it will? You think some of it's leaking?
I think it will.
You can't have something as such a pivotal thing going, oh, by the way, I have a vial of all the heroes' blood also containing Carol Danvers, and then it be never brought up again after next week's episode. Like, it has to be something pivotal. And as soon as he mentioned about the harvest, I'm like, of course, Nick Fury has all the Avengers' blood. Why wouldn't you not have
that's a
all
surprise.
their blood?
He'd be doing such stuff all the time.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
Why don't we just keep it just in a cemetery, out of all places?
Yeah.
Cemetery, just laying there.
Yeah, which you have to blow your grave to open it.
Yeah.
But any bold predictions for the last episode? Any bold predictions?
Nick Fury will survive.
No. Boo!
Oppenheimer bomb right now.
Oppenheimer bomb. Oh my gosh. Oh man. A prediction?
Actually, yeah. Real quick, Mr. Mark My Words on the YouTube. Pretty much Nick Fury has like Batman files. Nick Fury has Batman files on all the Avengers and their
That's
blood.
funny. Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, Nick Fury has he be doing such stuff since we first met him. So he's basically a darker Batman. Not a darker Batman. That Batman's pretty dark, but
yeah. What do you mean by darker Batman?
Abort. Yeah, so my bold prediction, I've been going back and forth on this. I don't know if this is going to be true, but it's bold. I think Talos will die. Never mind. Talos is already dead.
He's already dead.
Just kidding. I didn't remember that until after I said it. I'm going to have to think about a bold prediction. Messi, you got one that's not freaking Nick Fury surviving.
Mark my words, just say you people.
You-
What do you mean, you people?
What do you mean, you people?
Oh my god, any prediction? I honestly, like previous shows, you have like a prediction for like what's gonna happen, and then you have all this theories and stuff. Like this show, I'm just writing it as it goes. I'm not overthinking what's gonna happen in the next episode. I'm just like whatever they give me, I'm just gonna take it. I'm not gonna hit on it.
I got a prediction. We're gonna find out what happened with Rhodey. Where is Rhodey?
Yeah.
Who is Rhodey? So
I
that's
can
gonna happen at this in this finale. We gotta know. There's no way we can't know going into Armor Wars.
Yeah.
No, they can't just live in limbo. Not to mention, I was gonna say a lot. Like everyone that's been in contact with Nick Fury his entire season has died. It's like, oh, here's Kobe Smulders dead. Here's Taylor's dead. His wife about to be dead.
About to be, yeah.
It's
Oh my
it's
God.
like all the superheroes. Spider-Man, he can't have any friends because they all get hurt or dead.
Backdrop.
Yeah. If it's a
Aaron's
canon
dead.
event, they're gonna die.
It's a canon event.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Nick Fury's
Yeah.
canon event. Everyone dies.
He dies and he has everyone's blood.
Oh my God. You think?
He'll
Any
use it on
cameos?
himself.
Well,
Yeah.
I think cameos. I think maybe Captain Marvel will pop up because she popped up for Miss Marvel. I think she'll pop up for this, or she'll
can
be
see that.
should be like a voice call or something like that.
You'll see the little remote
Yeah.
thing.
Going
The
off.
beeper.
Yeah.
Sorry, the beeper. Something like that. Oh, question. The very last scene of this of the episode was someone talking on the phone.
Yeah.
He said,
Do you think
"Let's
that was
end
Gravik?
this." I don't know who. It could be Gravik, or it could be someone that's like that he's informing about everything. It's like shit about to go down. Let's do this. I don't know. It could be Gravik. Let's go with the safe side. It's Gravik, but
It's great.
let's go with the crazier wild. Is someone that's been there this whole time that we have not seen.
That'd be crazy.
Talos. He's not
Talos
actually
is
dead.
alive.
Taylor's never died.
They injected him with the serum.
Yeah. Because
Even though,
Yeah.
Ben
Even though we just hit
Mendelsohn
a
was a good
body.
actor. I was surprised he died. I was like, like
I did not think that would happen in the 5th episode. I think if he were to die, then it would come in the 6th episode. So
yeah, protecting Gaia.
exactly, not protecting the president.
no one
Yeah.
cares about the president. No one.
Yeah,
No one just.
It's true.
But
We
it's
don't,
bad
even, we don't even know who the president was until this episode. We didn't know what he looked like.
until the show, right?
We didn't know if he was a guy.
that's right. All right. Well, let's move on to the most explosive, most intense film, which I think will have best picture, best performance, best screenplay, best writing. Like this is going to be a bucket load of awards. This had $100 million budget of a film, no CGI, and
So crazy.
I know. And the biggest thing is that I've been seeing is that this is Christopher Nolan's masterpiece. This is his thing. This is the thing.
It's his baby. It's his child.
Yeah.
It's like labor. He went into labor for this movie, and then it just popped out.
Yeah. And apparently it was only shot in 55 days or 56 days.
Something like that.
Under 2 months, this whole movie was shot in. I just kept thinking about those are the two things I thought about. One, this thing has 0 CGI shots, and 2, this thing was shot in under 2 months. I just kept thinking about that the entire time I was watching the movie. It's crazy.
Oh, so what were your initial thoughts when the movie ended? Like, what was when the movie ended? How did you feel, and what did you think about it?
Messi, I'll let you go first.
All right. Movie ended. I texted Danny. Danny, what's your rating? He texted me back, I need to sleep on it. And I understand 100% what he meant by that, because the movie ended in a very interesting way.
Spoilers.
Oh, you've been warned.
Yeah, you've been
Spoilers.
warned.
Yeah, spoilers. I'm not gonna say any spoiler right now, but the movie ended in a very interesting way. That when a good movie ends and the people are quiet,
Yes.
it's so impactful. It is like that's how the movie ended, and I was blown away, pun intended, how this movie ended. It was really well done. I love this movie. All right, Danny, you go.
This was a strong movie. Like this was cinema at its peak, but there's a lot to take in when you're watching this film. Yeah. It's not just a film that you could sit back and watch.
No, you have to pay attention.
You have to pay attention. Like Christopher Nolan, all his movies, you have to pay attention. Interstellar, Inception, Tenet. I still don't understand Tenet. No matter how many times that's my least favorite film from his movies, because I still don't understand it. My wife didn't even understand half of this film, and she was watching it with me yesterday. I understood it, but she didn't. It's just like, it's a very in-depth movie. There's so many intricacies to this. The style, the elements with the black and white and the color, like there's a lot that goes into this. And I couldn't just give Messi my rating. Like, oh yeah, I give it a 7. I give it an 8. I give it an 9. I couldn't do that. Like, I had to digest this film.
Yeah, it was so much.
It was good. Like it was so good. Did I enjoy it than other movies? Maybe not. But like as a film, this was peak cinema. And I was silent coming out of the theater because I was like, dude, what did I just watch?
My theater was dead quiet. And the lights didn't even come on
for a good minute. Yeah, mine too.
Didn't come on. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I would say one thing I was surprised about, because this was based off a true story, and most times when a film is based off a true story, they have like this is what happened afterwards. Like little pictures of the real people, and then like a little thing afterwards. I was expecting that, but we didn't get it, which is fine. It was just something I was caught off guard by. But this was an amazing film. It's just, you have to pay attention, and you can't just be like, you can't have alcohol in your system when you're watching this movie. You're not going to understand. You're not going to understand what's going on.
Yeah, no, this isn't a popcorn flick. And my friend Mark, Mark's first feels like a stretch, like full 10 out of 10. I don't know. He's always a very good film critic. But he has said last night that one of the best things was, this wasn't a popcorn flick. This wasn't a movie. This is film. This is cinema from start to finish. And it's so refreshing. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I'll go watch a Marvel movie every day of the single week. But this was so refreshing, because we just saw Mission Impossible Indiana Jones a couple of weeks ago. But just watching this and just being captivated for the whole time, and knowing there was no CGI in it, and everything was crisp, every shot, every landscape, and one of the most, which Christopher Nolan does great every single time, is the music.
Oh my God, I'm still hearing to it. I told you before,
was phenomenal. The stomping on the wood that would happen like every now and then throughout the film. Oof, like this movie had depth, like absolute depth to the film that I don't think we've seen in a long time in the movie theaters.
No, and I love the vibrating walls, like when you can't listen, like it's vibrating in the background, and when he's talking to all the people on stage. In the hut or in the house where they're doing all the stomping, and as he's walking out, he puts his foot through an ash body.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
yeah,
like it
It was such a deep film. Like I can't express that enough of how deep this film was. And then it comes out the same day as Barbie, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, I know.
Like we got all the jokes about Oppenheimer and Barbie. Going into this movie, I did not think it would be that like as deep as it was. I knew it was gonna be serious. I knew like what it's about and all that stuff. But the actual like intricacies of this film, I did not think it was gonna be as deep as it was. And I loved it. It was a lot.
Yeah. It was, and it's a movie that I have no doubt will be in like schools and everything, of a movie that you can peel back the layers. You can peel back and dissect.
This is gonna be in every film class, and they're gonna say like dissect this film about whatever. What are the layers that they used in this film? That like this is gonna be a staple film.
Yeah. Moving forward, did you find the very start a little bit jarring, like a little bit choppy, trying to figure out what's going on between the black and white and the color?
I did.
I didn't know what's going on. That's one of the reasons why it felt that way, because I didn't know the movie coming into this movie. I didn't know the movie was going to be like this. The jumping back and forth with time, colors,
right,
and music. Because at the beginning, he's in the past because the bomb already happened, and then we jump to when he's in school, and then we jump when he's meeting Albert Einstein, and then we go back. It's like this jumping. I didn't know the movie was going to be like that, and it's a genius way of doing it. Because eventually you fall into it like, okay, this is how the movie is, and then you understand because pieces start connecting while the movie's going, and it was choppy in the beginning, but it makes sense.
Yeah. When you go back and watch it the second time, you're gonna watch that detail so much clearer now.
Yeah, you're gonna enjoy it.
But I was at the start too. I was like, okay, it's slipping back, and then he's like, he can't sleep properly, and then he's also talking in front of these people. I was like, okay, they're doing this. So it was it's a bit jarring, but after that initial, I'd say, 40 minutes, then it's seamless.
I will say an issue that I don't know about your theaters, but an issue that, or actually before I get into my issue, this is just me, my theater specifically, before I get into like the real issue. There was a freaking bug flying around my theater, like a beetle-sized bug. I live in Texas, everything bigger in Texas. There was like this beetle-sized bug flying around my theater. Whatever, that's fine. But the issue was, it's dark. Bugs are attracted to light. So throughout like the first half of the film, there's just like this bug imprint on the screen because it's on the camera lens of the film. So you see it like a bug over here, and then it like moves over here. I'm like, oh my god, get this stupid bug out of here. Eventually it left. I don't know where it went. Maybe someone killed it.
How tempted would you be like, I just need to move it. I just need to get rid of it. Like, it's just so bugging because you can see it.
I was so blown because I was like, come on. But a real issue that I had with the film, it's not a super big one, but it's a minor gripe. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of needed subtitles for this. There was a lot of times where I couldn't understand what they were saying. Albert Einstein, a couple other people, they were just speaking so softly that I'm like, I don't know what they just said. And being a film like this, where it's like you have to understand every single thing that they're going on, I needed subtitles. It would have been really great with subtitles.
Yeah, I agree. I think one of the things I struggled was trying to remember everyone's name when they were talking about everybody's names. Oh yeah, Doctor blah blah blah, or Doctor this, Doctor that. I'm like, okay, that was him. He was a British spy. Okay, trying to connect all the dots. I still but besides that, but you're right. Subtitles would be good the second time round. Which was it, Mr. Mark My Words? Visuals were staying. The bomb drop insane. Being the Japan celebrations hit me emotionally when everyone was celebrating.
Yeah,
knowing what's just happened.
Yeah, that was deep. And there was definitely a time where I was like, This goes back into the subtitle part when I was like, did they drop the bomb in Japan yet? Did they not drop the bomb? Like, I wasn't sure if we were going to physically see that in the screen, but then we just heard it over the radio. And I was like, I can't tell if he's saying that we're going to drop it or if they already dropped it.
The radio was a bit hard to understand.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad they didn't show some scenes because they didn't show Pearl Harbor either. And Pearl Harbor happened within the movie.
Right. There was a lot of stuff that happened within the movie. They were like the Hitler dying in the movie, Pearl Harbor, and I was like, you could tell like the time. I was definitely like looking for those time periods to try and find out where we were in time,
where it's placed. Yeah,
right.
I wasn't that phased that we didn't see Pearl Harbor or didn't see the bomb actually dropping. I'm like, wasn't even near. Obviously, if you want to just watch the movie Pearl Harbor if you need to. We all know the story.
Another 3-hour film.
Oh, I know. Another 3-hour movie with, I think it's Michael Bay. Sorry, that's all I have to say for anyone who hasn't seen it. Yeah. You know exactly what's going to be. Explosions everywhere and hot female and robots. So
pretty much.
But yeah, true. I'm not favored I didn't see them, but it was some of those moments where he's like in shock. And I thought, God, that would be, you can only imagine how he's feeling just then. I'm like, you won and everyone's celebrating, but you know at what cost. Like when he's sitting there and they're showing the photos to them of what happened.
Oh yeah. When he was sitting in the theater and whatever place he was watching the pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really crazy. Just seeing the battle of like this war that was going on in his mind. There was like, do I keep going? Do I not keep going? Like, I can't believe I just did this, but also like, I may or may not keep working on the hydrogen bomb. And it was just like, there was a lot, like, there was just this war going on in his mind. And you saw that depicted very, very well. It was like, it was just, I don't even know how to describe it. It was just a strong film.
I think
Cillian Murphy did phenomenal. Everyone in the cast did great.
This cast, holy shit!
And it was more loaded than you thought. There was someone that would like come out into the screen, and you're like, he's in the movie. She's in the movie. There's someone from Sky High was in the movie. I remember watching Sky High. Josh Peck from whatever it's called, Drake and Josh was in the movie. Like there was so many random
Jack Quaid.
Yeah, Jack Quaid was in the movie. And I was like, there was so many people that I didn't think were in the film. It just really goes to show how much people want to work with Christopher Nolan. Like they know that his movies are masterpieces and that you want to work with the director. So it was really interesting.
That just shows you, because a lot of his films, they're almost event films. Like when your Christopher Nolan movie comes out, you're like, I need to see this. Like even though I know this much about it, it's going to be outstanding. And like, a lot of people do complain and say, Tenet's a bit hard to follow. I'm like, but yes, that's true. But you go watch those reverse scenes. You go watch how intricate those reverse scenes are watching and how that's done. But Cillian Murphy, he did a fantastic job. He knew what this was. He killed it.
He killed it. I will say this is, I don't know about you guys, minor gripe, not something big, but going through the premieres, seeing the like them on the red carpet, seeing the trailers and stuff like this, you would think Florence Pugh was in the movie more than she was. Than just like, you would think that she had more of a role than Emily Blunt, but Emily Blunt was in the movie more and was like not as I guess like broadcasted in the trailers, in the red carpets, even in like, if you look up the cast, usually it goes in order from like main character all the way down. Florence Pugh, it goes Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., Florence Pugh, Emily Blunt. Like she's higher in the movie, but she was only there for like her sex scenes, and that's basically it. So I was like, that was interesting that how they marketed it. it makes me
Yeah.
think of Zendaya with Dune when she was like in every trailer for 90%
She's not
of
here
the
for that
trailer
long.
and only there for like 5 minutes. Like it made
Yeah.
me think of that, and I was like, this is interesting. I didn't have a problem with it, but it was just like weird how they their marketing strategy.
10 out of 10 character.
That's funny.
No,
Yeah, really didn't have a problem with it, but
No, and
He's wanted more of her.
Yeah, the scene in the interrogation, I was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that scene was kind of tough to watch. Like I was
Yeah.
not expecting them to pull that off. It's like
No,
the transition from one side to the other side, and you use clothing, fully naked, with her on top of him, and the wife behind him, watching it.
yeah,
yeah.
I felt uncomfortable, and I'm not even them.
I was like, I'm uncomfortable.
and Kelly Murphy's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep talking while this
Yeah.
Just gonna keep
27-year-old's
on
on
talking.
me.
Yeah, there's a 20-year-old age difference between the two.
Yeah,
I looked it up. He's 47, she's 27, so that's interesting.
yeah. But don't worry, honey, I'm just here.
I'm
Behind
just
you.
here.
But how, like, you obviously have seen other Christopher Nolan movies. Do you agree? Would you say this is his best work, or would you still put like Dark Knight?
I was gonna say that. Like you also have Dark Knight on the list. Like, are you saying
True.
this movie is better than Dark Knight?
Me as a
I
fanboy? No. Me as a
I-
critic?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
this is the most cinematic film of all his films. I think this is like the most cinema type movie that he has had. As far as like enjoyment factor, I do enjoy Interstellar and Inception.
You love that
more.
movie.
Interstellar and Inception are like, I don't know. That's just my cup of tea. I am a huge, I don't know. I'm a huge lover of those movies. Like that's just my type of movie. But I do think this is a better film.
It is. I think it has every aspect what a film movie needs to be great.
Yeah.
The sound, the music, the acting, the actors, the everything involved in it. It makes it work and it makes it look good. And we saw the movie. It was very impactful, and the message of the story. I created a bomb because I was told to create a bomb, but I didn't think this bomb will be the start of bombs, of nuclear bombs, and then forward and forward and forward. Eventually, where we are right now, and one person's bomb one area, we're done because everybody will shooting their nukes.
Yeah,
and
everybody got bombs. It was that
That's
like
right.
I don't know who was it, but when they were in the desert area and someone was like, "Oh, until someone creates a bigger bomb." I was like,
yeah.
there's
That was a bit like,
everyone always.
Yeah, well, they
there's
have.
always going to be they're always going to create a bigger bomb.
yeah,
Because
well,
you have the
It's
bomb in the
always that
first
person.
place because they're like, "Oh, if I have a bomb, they won't do anything to me." But then the other person is like, "Oh, they got a bomb, so we need a bomb." And then now they're like, "Oh, well, now we both have a bomb, so we need to have a second bomb, so that way we have more bombs than their bombs." And then it just keeps on going. They're like, "Oh, how about we just get an H bomb now?" It's just like it keeps on just going up until we are in the world that we have now.
it's about having a bigger stick than the other guy. Yeah.
Pretty much, it's a stick length contest.
Yeah.
Exactly right. But I about 3/4 of the way through, which we were talking about this earlier, I was like, I was like, how's this going to end? And just that scene when the world is like half burning with all the missiles going up and half burning, I was like,
That was crazy.
and then he's having that flashback again, which I real quick, I do love the fact that they did not talk about Robert Downey Jr.'s character, and Albert Einstein was just a dick and walked past him like it was nothing to do with him. But just that world burning is the last shot.
That was I was wondering. I'm like, how do you finish this film? And they kept alluding back to the Einstein thing. I was like, okay, maybe that's how they end the film. And I would have been happy if they ended it that way too. But the way that they ended it with all the missiles and stuff like that, it's like, wow, this is Yikes! This is something. Hopefully, we don't get there.
I mean, because
Shit.
he saw, like I said earlier, he saw what this bomb that he created could lead up to. Like you said, everybody has to have the bigger stick. Hopefully, World War III doesn't happen and we all die, because after World War III, I don't think no one is making it unless they sent us to Mars. Because shit,
Nah, that's it. That's done.
It's the end.
Yeah.
it was a very scary realization that that moment could happen at any given minute. It could happen. That's just scary.
It's very on the nose.
The nuclear codes are there.
Yeah,
They're there.
This is the world we live in, and also the fact that the results were near zero. The fact that they could have ignited the atmosphere.
yeah, near zero, and they still went through with it. Okay. Yeah, it almost blew up the entire world. I mean, I wasn't born, but like, come on now.
We were not there. I don't.
Yeah. But what results do you want? Zero. I want zero results that it's going to blow up the earth. But no, and this movie is for anyone listening and watching. If you are on the fence about this film, this is not a film to be missed. Like, my biggest regret is I didn't see this in IMAX. Like the music was shaking the theater.
IMAX. I drove an hour and a half to see it in IMAX because I live in a very small town. So there's only regular showings in my theater. So I drove an hour and a half to see it in IMAX. 100% worth it.
So you did see it in IMAX?
I did. So did Messi. Actually, Messi saw it in the 70 millimeter IMAX. He saw it in like the legit IMAX. I saw it in the fake IMAX, but
so jealous. So faking.
But
everything was bigger.
Yeah. Going to the bomb scene. Let's go to the bomb scene real quick. One, that was beautiful to like.
Everything.
Beautiful watching, God. Just like, and then you see the light hitting his face, and I was like, oh, this is just a beautiful scene. I was not expecting it to be silent for the majority.
No.
And then it was silent for so long. I almost got mad because I was like, bro, if I don't hear a bomb, I'm actually gonna be really upset. Like that, I was so hyped to like my theater to explode hearing the bomb noise, because I was in IMAX and hearing the testing that they did on like smaller bombs, it was really loud in my theater. I'm like, and I turned to my wife next to me. I'm like, the thing is gonna be loud as heck. Like, this thing is gonna blow up my eardrum because of how loud the tiny little bomb was that they were testing out. So I was like, bro. And then it was quiet for so long. I was like, wow, this is beautiful. And then just kept going. I was like, bro, I better hear something. And then I did, and it was pretty loud. I was pretty hyped.
No,
okay. Danny didn't. I texted him what that scene was happening. I texted him like, this was beautiful. This is like the best thing I ever seen in my life. one of the things that really got me excited, it was the silent part, because the music that was building up to it was pa 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 pa, and then
nothing,
and the light, and then it was so quiet. I don't know if you have like noise cancellation headphones. When you put it on and you put the noise cancellation and you just put nothing on, it like your ears can feel the silence. That's how my theater felt. And I loved every single second that was silent, because the impact of it made it 100% better. It made the movie experience 100% times better because of that silence.
It's like a build up, but it's like a slow build up and then bang, because they're all going like yay, and then suddenly they all got taken back.
Yeah,
I mean, it was crazy to watch, and I'm glad you finally heard silence, because we talked about in our Mission Impossible episode how it got really silent when Tom Cruise jumped off the cliff.
I was so
and all you could hear was the wind. Apparently, he was next to some girls that were laughing the whole time.
I was so mad.
He didn't get the silence.
No.
I would have been, dude, if someone wouldn't ruin this masterpiece of a moment, I would have killed that person. It's like, you do not deserve to see this movie. F yourself. But yeah, they on Mission Impossible, when he jumps is silent and you hear the wind.
Mm.
There's girls next to me laughing loud. It's like, dude, this is
You know, I
not the
will
moment.
say, someone two seats next to me was asleep the entire first half of the movie until the bomb went off. Like you heard,
Oh shit! What was that?
like this dude was snoring, and then until like the sound of the bomb went off, he's like, I was like, bro, you paid an IMAX to sleep. Like, what are you doing? But
That's God. How do you fall
Disappointment.
asleep in this?
for real,
I don't know
know what he was doing.
There are so many bangs and like the music and was loud and everything going on. How do you sleep through that?
The music was deafening.
I don't.
The score was one of the best, if not the best part of this film. It was absolutely top
good.
tier.
I said it for the Mission Impossible movie. The score for that movie was so good. The movie was even better because of it. Same thing with this. You can't have this good of a movie without the music.
No.
Made the movie better.
The shuffling of the feet, like you said
Yeah,
earlier.
that was
just
that was
building
crazy.
up and getting louder. It's just it was been incredible. Like, how did someone fall asleep? Oh my god!
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, dude, what are you doing here? Get out of here.
Get out! Get out!
I'm trying to see who did the score.
I just have speak Hans Zimmer every time. Robert Downey Jr.'s character, what a dick!
Dude, biggest plot twist ever seen. I did not expect him to be the villain of this movie. I did at all. I told you before we started recording. It catch me off guard. I thought he was a good guy this whole time. Now I understand why there were black and white shots. The black and white shots was RTJ's point of view. Colors with Oppenheimer's.
Yep.
I get it. I know now. I know in the beginning why is this black and white and why is this color. I get it now.
Yeah, that was really crazy. I will say his performance was unbelievable. This was his first performance since Endgame.
No, first good performance since Endgame.
Yeah, Doolittle.
Well,
He did
we don't
Doolittle.
talk about that. It's erased from the mind. And so this he did absolutely amazing. It was, like Messi said, completely off guard. Actually, I was somewhat confused as to what was going on towards the end because, like I said, this movie can be hard to track at certain times. I was like, what is actually going on here? And I'm like, oh shoot, he's trying to he's behind all of this, and it was pretty crazy
because he doesn't like him. Oh, and another actor, Rami Malek, Freddie Mercury.
Yep.
Actor. He's in it for.
I was not expecting him to be in this movie. It's like Danny said earlier. Oh, look who's here. Look who did this movie as well.
Just pops up to make one of the biggest plot points in the whole film.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's it. The dork with the clipboard.
Yeah.
But I did like the little nod. It's like, oh, who voted against me? I was like, this guy, JFK, this guy.
Oh yeah.
Bro, when they dropped JFK, I was like, they're really just gonna drop that like that?
Yeah. That's your Easter egg.
That was pretty cool.
JFK will return in Oppenheimer too.
Another bomb. Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh no.
Anyway, no, Robert Downey Jr. did a fantastic job, and I think everyone's performance, even the small bits, but Matt Damon was good.
He was great.
Tell it. He could sympathize with Oppenheimer, like he understood what was going on. I did love their back and forth. I think they had the most comedic between the two. That
was. I actually very much enjoyed Matt Damon's back and forth with Cillian Murphy. It seemed like they were enjoying themselves, and they both. The fact that this was done in 57 days, you couldn't have that many reshoots. There had to be a lot of like one takes, and to do as good as these cast members did on potentially one take, maybe two takes, is really impressive.
I mean, these actors are A-lister actors.
They are.
So they're really good at their jobs. That's what they get paid. the good money, and the other people don't.
Well, we're on strike now. So.
Well, that's
Do
the-
they
that's
do
the
they get
thing.
paid?
Well, that's the thing is that a lot of these extras and other actors were big name actors. So do you think that they took a bit of a pay cut just to say I've
Yes.
worked in the Christopher Nolan movie?
100%. I think they would suck someone's toes to be in Christopher Nolan's movies. Like
I'll do all 10 right now.
This is like a god of directors to these actors. I mean, to us too, but like to the actors to work with someone that you very much enjoy working with. I mean, James Gunn has a reputation of like actors that love to work with him, but he usually works around a specific genre. Christopher Nolan is like everyone goes to see a Christopher Nolan film. Yeah. There's only a certain crowd that goes to see a James Gunn film, even though people love that. Like people will do any actor will do anything to be part of Oppenheimer. I think that's part of the reason that there was such a stacked cast, because we know that there are studios that are like, I want you to play this role. You don't even have to audition. And they're like, nah. Possibly what happened with Adam Driver and Margot Robbie with Fantastic Four. Maybe not. But like they're just like, nah, I don't want to. But like for this, no way anybody said no to any sort of role that they got.
Yeah, you don't say no to Christopher Nolan. If he calls you, you pick up.
Yeah.
Like he even got, I think the story is for, I think The Prestige. He sent the script to David Bowie to play Tesla, and David Bowie said no. So Christopher Nolan flew out and went, saw him in person and went over with the character. And he's like, that's when I said, yes, I'll play.
You don't say no to Christopher Nolan.
Nah, not if he comes to your door.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like you call him, he's like, nah, bro, I can't. I do something else. 2 seconds later, open the door. I need to talk to you.
You're not doing something else anymore.
Yeah.
I got a film for you.
Yeah.
I know you're not busy. Actually, Mark actually got a good point. Is that Matt Damon also mentioned he was going to take a break from acting before Christopher Nolan called him.
Well, yeah, I did hear about that.
Right. Wasn't he like talking? His wife was mad because he said yes or something like that. Yeah, that's You just
made a deal with his wife to take a break. Then that was the only thing they bring back. Like, now I got to take for a break from acting. Oh, hi, honey. Christopher Nolan's called. Give me the phone.
See what happened is Christopher Nolan called.
Yeah. You can't say no. I think there's some directors that are still left that you have to do a movie like Spielberg. Martin Scorsese, whatever you say his last name.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan. Like,
don't say no.
You can't say no to these directors because they've been in the game for so long that they know what they're doing, and
everyone is a hit. And everyone
exactly.
I saw a post today or last night that had all of Christopher Nolan's movies, and all of them were like 90 plus on Rotten Tomatoes, 95 plus on Rotten Tomatoes. Like all hit. They know what they're doing.
Even his early one, Memento. Even that was another a fantastic movie. And then there's another one that I have to still watch, Insomniac. And that's got Robert Williams playing a bad guy and Al Pacino in it as well. And it's hard to believe that Christopher Nolan didn't go to film school.
Really?
He
just has that mind. He just has
that love. He has to love what he does to be able to do everything that he did without proper education. That's just a prodigy. He's a prodigy to film.
That's
freaking
right,
bastard. I hate him.
How dare you be this good?
Yeah, you're not allowed to be this good.
Do you think that because he didn't go to film school that if he went, his films won't be as crafted as they are now? Because he went in a different direction and to get a different norm, we get what we get right now.
I would say I think so. Christopher Nolan does things very differently. You can tell in all his movies they're so intricate with it's a completely different style than anybody else because of the elements and the intricacy of the films. And sometimes, not saying always, but sometimes when you go to a film school or something like that, it could steer you in a specific direction,
Yeah.
versus letting your creativity roam free. They're like, actually, we think it'd be better off if you did this, and potentially that could have happened. So by not going to film school, it allowed him to do what he wanted and what his vision was, and none of it was hindered because of that.
No.
Yeah, I agree, because I actually went to film school, and that's true. They it's not a bad thing, but it's not a great thing either, because let's say you went into film school with this idea, and then when you leave, you have a whole different mindset of it. So me thinking that with Christopher Nolan not going to school was the best decision that he ever did, because his creative point of view is so massive that I feel with school it would have been crippled.
Yeah, some minds are just too great for school. Some minds are just too great. I mean, you think of I can't remember names off the top of my head, but there's some very, very brilliant people. Was it Albert Einstein? I don't know, but there was someone that got kicked out of school, even though they were like the most smartest person in the world. Like,
he failed math.
There's some people that are just too brilliant for school, and by being in school, you're actually crippling their minds.
Because they think they know best.
And then they prove to everyone that they do. that they are. You know, one of those stories, it's a little side point, that always makes me think, oh my God, is Harrison Ford. Like, he was a carpenter. Like, he wasn't going to get into acting. He didn't only happen to be in the same building, the same room with George Lucas. Like, he did a couple of things, but he was going to quit.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just the gold in the mine, like this needle in the haystack. There's always people out there that you just don't realize how their true potential of what they're actually capable of. Yeah, and that's why you just gotta. You can't always go with the norm. You can't always go with the norm. There's no one size fits all.
No, and probably anyone is like, go take those risks, and Christopher Nolan embodies that. Take the risk, do something different. You never know what's going to come from it. You know, you're a guy who didn't do film school, and now you are like one of the most sought out directors. You can pick anyone you want to be in your movies, and people come to your feet.
Literally, he can say, I want him, and he's gonna get him. Like, you can pick anyone. He's very selective. Like, he doesn't have this massive filmography. Like, he's very selective when he wants to do a film throughout his period of directing. He's like, yep, I want to do that, and then he'll go for it. And that's why they're all good, because you're not just overloading what you can do. And another thing is, what's really interesting is, one, he made this bomb. Like, obviously not nuclear sized bomb, but he still made a bomb. Like, this dude, like, can you imagine the director is like, all right, guys, here's a script. And then they're like reading it. They're like, all right, we're going to make a bomb. They're like, cool. So, like, what are we going to do? CGI? They're like, no, this is going to be a legit bomb. Huh?
What?
like it's pretty interesting. And it's cool that, I don't know if it's cool or not, but it's interesting that now we're in the day and age where it's cool to not have CGI in the film.
Yeah.
Back then, it was like, you got CGI, like, you're the shit. Like, holy crap.
What are you gonna make?
I need to go see this movie because it has CGI in it. Now it's the opposite way around. I need to see this movie because it doesn't have CGI in it. Yeah. And it's just this interesting pendulum swing that we're on. I mean, this whole world is full of different types of pendulum swings, and this is one of them. So it's really interesting.
It became too reliant. I think CGI became too reliant. Obviously, how quickly you can make a film. But as we've seen, is that if it's not done right, it's horrible. Like, and people are more critical of it now. There's no, I'll let that go. I'm like, no, that was shit. That was awful. What? Like the Flash. The baby scene is
just
disgusting.
Jarring. The baby scene.
Disgusting.
And
trash.
then also with not having CGI, you feel the weight of it more. And
Yeah.
I told Messi about this during the Mission Impossible scene of him jumping off the cliff. Like, there's a lot of things movie industries can easily say, I can make that CGI. Like, there's a lot of scenes in Oppenheimer that you could have saw, one being the bomb, but two, the different things that were going on in his mind that we saw, like, I don't know, different sparkles and stuff like that, easily could have made that CGI. But they chose not to. And it just, you feel it more impactful. Like, I know, watching Mission Impossible when he jumped off the cliff, had it been CGI, I still wouldn't like, damn, that's cool. But I wouldn't really, like, I wouldn't feel my heart drop the way it did, knowing that man literally jumped off the freaking cliff. Like, no, I'm not going to jump off a cliff with a freaking motorcycle. I mean, Tom Cruise is probably a Skrull. We talked about this in the last episode. But like, there's things that you wouldn't be able to feel the weight of if it was CGI. And Oppenheimer, I'm so glad that they didn't have that, because it made me feel it a whole lot more.
Yeah, and not only do you feel a whole lot more, but even the music when those big scenes were made you feel even more intense.
Even better. Yeah.
But I remember reading the first time when they said, "Oh yeah, Christopher Nolan's actually got a real bomb." Like, you're a madman. Like, was Interstellar even on Earth? Did you film that somewhere else just to get the real shot?
Yeah, this dude actually went to space to film Interstellar. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, no, we're doing it on the planet. You know, Christopher, you know, look at Interstellar. That was all CGI. I'm like, was it? Was it actually CGI? Didn't we actually go to the planet and film it?
I won't be surprised.
Nah. But, gentlemen, any final thoughts on Oppenheimer? Any final words?
Watch this movie. If you're going through this whole episode and hearing these spoilers and haven't seen the movie, I don't know what you're doing. But if you somehow wanted all the spoilers before watching it, you need to watch this movie still. This is in theaters. In theaters. Don't be like, I'll wait. No. Don't wait. This is meant for the biggest screen that you could possibly watch it on.
IMAX. You need this is a movie where it's 100%.
Like I said,
real IMAX.
In the picture, shot with IMAX film cameras.
Yeah. You see how heavy the thing was? Real quick. You see the
it was heavy.
Yeah. It was really heavy.
Really heavy.
You need to watch this movie.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, it was 1945. Surely spoilers have passed you.
I mean, that is technically true. But if you're not caught up on your history, then if you somehow live under a rock and didn't know this happened.
Spoiler, we won.
Spoiler. If you're Japanese, I don't know if you want to watch this, but that's for another discussion.
We won together.
Messi, you have any final thoughts?
Yeah,
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. But I just can't see you properly.
I think you said it all. Just watch this movie, but if you do watch it on the actual 70 millimeter screen where it's supposed that what is actually filmed to be watched at.
Well, there's not that many 70 millimeter.
Yeah, so if you live close to one, go see it, or be like Danny did. He drove over an hour.
Fake IMAX.
Fake IMAX. Fake IMAX is better than regular standard.
Exactly.
So,
100%. Can't agree more.
Watch it and really be ready to pay attention. Yeah, really be ready to.
Not a popcorn movie. Not a popcorn movie.
Especially the start. Especially the start's the most jarring.
Yeah.
It
sets the tone. Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on this episode. I really appreciate it. It is fantastic to chat with you guys again. You're always a blast, always so insightful. And again, it's just fantastic to watch where your podcast is going, your show. And for everyone who's listening and watching, you need to follow these guys because the sky's the limit. Even just from 8 weeks ago that you were on here.
Yeah. I mean, it was so soon, but it seems like so far ago. Thank you. We really appreciate it. I mean, I can definitely speak on behalf of both of us that we love both your show and being on your show because you have really great stuff. And it's just so fun to have like these conversations with you. We get really in depth. We have these crazy conversations that, I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way because I can't have these conversations with my wife. She just doesn't understand. She just not the same. But it's really fun, and we are so thankful that you like give us the opportunity to be on your show because there's so many great podcasts and people out there. That have a lot of great insight. So we're thankful for giving us a second opportunity to come back on your show.
Yeah,
always,
man.
guys. Always an absolute pleasure.
It's been great. Like Danny said, it's not an honor for you, it's an honor for us. For us to be here with you and talk about everything that we just talked about. Even for Guardians of the Galaxy, we went and talked about for like almost 2-3 hours. I don't remember how long it was. It was a really long episode. Yeah, like, and then here we just talked about 2 hours. It didn't feel like 2 hours. It felt like we just started the conversation, and that's how I think podcasts should be.
That's 100%
conversation,
and a long drive. A long drive. A long drive. But no, guys, it's to have you as guests is always fantastic, and as I said, the inside of these conversations I love doing. So I can't wait when you guys are back on here again. We will tee up a time. It won't be the last. You are always welcome.
Thank you,
man. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Anytime. And guys, until next time, happy ranting.
Woo!
Thanks for listening to Light, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.